This is Cousin Russ, continuing my videos on the use of Family Tree Maker 2017 and the various workspaces. I have opened my program in the Plan workspace, and today I want to talk about the People workspace. This is probably the workspace that you spend most of the time, but there's two tabs. There's a tree view and the person view. Now, I'm going to spend just a few minutes on both, but I want to, this will be high level on the tree view, and I'll just show you a couple things in this workspace, and I'll show you the person tab and a few examples there. I'm not going to go into, I want to try to keep this short. I've done blog posts on all of these, all this information, but I just want to get a high level view of the People workspace. I use the tree view, which is what's on the screen, and by default in the tree view is a pedigree chart. But there's some things that you can do with a pedigree chart. Now, I have blogged about the color coding, which is what the colors are on the screen, and there are hints from Ancestry. On the left-hand panel, these are the left-hand panel, the center panel, the right-hand panel. Left-hand panel is an index of people sorted by, in my case, I have it by family, comma, given name. There's options where you can use the given name and family name, or add the birth date or marriage date or death date. By default, I don't change it. I like the family, comma, given name. Now, if I have a bunch of people with the same name, I can always click on the specific name that I want, and I'm right there, because the information is in the right-hand panel of the person that I have selected. I use this view, this tab, for relationships, not details. I use it for relationships. While I'm here, I want to get rid of the index, the left-hand panel, and there's an icon near the upper left-hand corner of the center panel, and I just closed the index. I can reopen it by reopen it with the arrow that's pointing to the right. I'll do that one more time. I just minimized the index and I brought it back out. There's also a way, and I'm going to go up to, I want to go up to this person, this individual. And I noticed that she's married, he's married, her husband was married once. And if I look over here, there's a number 2 by her name, the icon by her name, which means that she was married twice. Now, if I bring that up, it'll give me the 2 people that she was married. The preferred one's got an asterisk. Now, I make my preferred spouse based on 2 things. One, are they my direct ancestor? Because the color coding is very clear about that. But I'm not showing the children. I can bring that up. I can drag it up, and now I can see that she's got 3 children. So I can change that. I can also minimize the children. That's this icon in the lower left-hand corner. I see more people in the pedigree, and I just brought the children back up, and they're here. Now, if she had a blended family, let me show you that she doesn't. I'm going to select the second husband, and you see that they have no children. If they did, then that would be a blended family. She would have 2 children, where she would have children, but uh, by two husbands. The blended family, which is the icon right here, which will show the blended family. And I'm just going to turn it on because the important thing here is that you can see who the child's father was, the icons in this column right here. If for some reason you haven't sorted the children, you can sort the children by birth order here. Also on the screen, so the left-hand panel is the list of people alphabetically, in my case by surname. The pedigrees in the center. I can get rid of the pedigree, the index. I can get rid of the family with the icons that are right here and up here. On the right-hand side is a brief detail, brief summary of the person that you have selected. You see that this is a darker green, and I can do the same thing from here. So I can select the person who will appear in the right-hand panel. You can pick and choose what facts appear with that person. For an example, I like to show the burial fact. Down in the right-hand column, it says, bottom of the right hand, it says customize view. And I can add burial, and I can put it over on the right-hand box, but I want it moved up a little bit to where it appears. So it'll appear birth, death, burial. And I use these facts on this screen. I like it. I like to see the person ID number, which is right here. And I have turned that on in the tools options menu. I have it there. So if I have to merge two people, I know what the person ID is. So I can customize what facts appear in this view. That is the tree view. Again, I use this for relationships. I don't spend a lot of time on this screen. I do not do any data entry from this screen because I'm going to do data entry from the person tab, the person view. So this is the person view, the default. You'll notice down the left-hand side, there's two icons with the privacy that's turned on. I don't want the address to appear any place online. I have a fact down here that I keep that I want, that I don't want, that's not necessary to appear in an Ancestry member tree. I don't want it put online. The privacy setting for that fact will do that. Just so one place where the privacy fact is on the right-hand panel where it says options and it says mark as private. So I'm going to turn it off so you can see what happened on the left-hand side. That address is now visible to, if I put this online, but I'm going to put it back to private. There's settings that I won't go through here. Again, this is high-level view of the people workspace. The person's name, for an example, it's been listed twice, two different ways. I record what I see. In this case, that is the name that was on a census record. I selected that name fact. On the right-hand side, there is a citation, and there's an image with that citation. Now, since I did that, I want to talk about these three columns of numbers. They're nice to know numbers, but there's some hints that might be here. For an example, the name fact, I'm going to move it up to the one above it. The second name fact has one citation, it has one media file, and no notes. So this is citation, media, and notes. I'm going to select that one so you can see it because there's tabs over here. There's one citation, there's one media file, and there are no notes. Now, I just happen to see that this person has a 1 in this third column. So there's one source, one citation, one media file, and some notes for that fact. I copy and paste the abstract from Ancestry and paste it in Notes, so I don't have to go back and look at it again. So this is the data that was on the abstract from Ancestry. Just copy and paste it, and I do format it a little bit, but I put notes on some of my facts. If I choose between two different names or two different facts, I can make a note in that fact note why I made my choice. Down at the bottom, there is a note tab. There's a media tab. There's her picture. And I've showed this before when I talked about the media workspace. There's the media picture. It's also up here. And if I right click on that, this is where I can add that image. So if I don't have an image, I can add it or I can hide it. I'm just right clicking on that icon. The next tab is web links. I don't have any web links for this person. Now, this is the fun part. I'm going to go to the notes section because there is another icon just to the left of the person notes. The person notes would be the notes that get put on in a person's notes online unless you privatize it. The next tab is the research notes. When I bring new data in, as I've mentioned before, I do it from the sources workspace. The very next thing that I do is I make a research log entry. The research log for me is the positive search results. I like the bulleted item, make it in bullets because I want to be able to, it's just my preference to have it with bullets. And I put it in date order. So I put the date that I did it and what database. Now, the data that's after the date, I will find a citation somewhere up here that reflects what's here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time to see if I could. There's the 1900s. There's the 1900s census, and I did it on the 29th of August. And if I go to the residence fact, I will see that I did this on the 25th of August is when I did the merge. And matter of fact, the research log said I did it on the 25th. So I saw this one research log entry, and I found the citation positive results up here in the citation list somewhere, and it may be more than one. For an example, her name is from that same citation. All of this is to remind me the order in which I entered the data, and this is all positive search results. So I know the order in which I've done things for this person. And now the stuff that I may have work to do for this person is on the task list. The way I have used the task list is my to-do list. This is my to-do list. I've completed some work, some of my tasks. These all mean something to me. It's my data, it's my information. So I have it here and it will show up in the plan workspace. Anything on that to-do list will be in the plan workspace, but this is where it's generated from. If I want to add a new task, I click on new and a pop-up window comes up. And I have my method of entering data, again, as I've mentioned before, for sorting purposes. But this is where I spend most of my time. I start with a citation in the sources workspace. I come to the people workspace and make my research log. And then I will enter the data and make the selection. Also, there are tabs. There are 3 tabs right here. The default is the facts. So this is all the facts. Now, you can sort the facts any way you want to. I have it alphabetically. You can do it by date if you want. It makes sense. But I'm used to finding the fact name by the name, so alphabetically works for me. The other thing here, you'll see that there's a bunch of birth dates. I do that because this record, which was the 1900 census record, only said that she was born in the state of Pennsylvania. This record, which was a record with a certificate, trying to see what kind of record that is. It's a death certificate. Only gave me the fact that she was born in, or that she was born in Philadelphia County, Pennsylvania. This record, actually, there are 2 records, 2 citations that gave me her first full birth date and location, the most complete, and that is marked preferred. This record only says that she was born in May 1820 in Pennsylvania. These citations only gave me that she was born about 1800 or 1820. I do not use birth, marriage, and death dates without the word about if I only get the year. If I see on a record a year only for birth, marriage, and death, I precede that with the word about. I do that because it catches my attention, my eye, that I have more research to do. In this case, I have 21 citations that told me that she was born in 1820. I got a little bit closer on this record that she was born in May of 1820. And these 2 records gave me her complete birth date. These 2 citations only told me where she was born. One was in the state, one was in the town. That is up to us to determine. My procedure is that I have the most complete. It doesn't mean accurate. Most complete. After I've evaluated all of these things, I have to make a choice. Now, if these 2 records said that she was born May 12th, 1823, rather than 1820, then I've got conflicting information. Then I have to do something different. My observation and my review of the documents, the citations, is that this is the most complete and probably the most accurate. I may find another record that says something else. I do not believe I will find that in this case because I have researched this person many times. So I am confident that this is when she was born. You manage and collect the facts that you want. You have total control. You can make your choice about what is preferred, what is not. So that's the facts. The next one is timeline. I love this feature. This is the timeline for this person. Yes, there's some repeating, but it's repeating the facts that I have. But let me show you what I can do if I click on the down arrow to the right of the word timeline. I can show family events. And now I see that a son was born in 1843, a daughter was born in 1844, her mother died in 1845, a daughter was born in 1856, her spouse died, her first spouse died in 1866, her father died in 1875, she had a son that died in 1897. So I have her timeline and her family. This is very helpful. And in this example, it is very helpful because you will see down here, she is in a different state in the 1900 census. And the reason why she is important because her grandchild was in this household in 1900. And the reason, when I looked at my grandfather's timeline, I saw that his father had died and then appears in New Jersey rather than Kansas. So the timeline with the family, you may pick up hints as to what was going on at the time. The other option that you can add is historical events. And now there's some other historical events. You notice that this daughter was born in 1856 in Pennsylvania. But if I go down a little bit here, then it won't show up, but this son actually was born in Kansas because the Civil War was going on. And the family moved from Pennsylvania to Kansas because they knew the Civil War was coming. At least that's what the story goes, and I see no reason to dispute that. So I can see the historical events that occurred at the same time. I don't usually use that. The one that I do use, the timeline feature I do use, is the relationship on the timeline is adding the family. The third one over is relationships. This relationship shows the relationships to the parents or the spouse and the children. Now, I'm going to select, you'll see that this spouse is a spouse and deceased. This one is a spouse and ongoing. When I know when he died, the timeline told me when he died, so I'm going to select him. But over on the right, there's a relationship. And if they weren't married, there's a way to prove that, to make that statement. So if they never married, you can select the partner, friend, single, other, private, unknown. You can select those options for relationship. They were married and he died. So I have a pull down menu and I have some options like divorce, deceased, ongoing, private. I have options over here. But I want to see in this view, the relationship view, that she was married twice and that she married the second time after the first husband died. The second marriages or the last marriage, I just leave it as ongoing. I just leave it because that is the default. But when there's been multiple marriages, I will go check the relationship or the status. So that is the people workspace. In general, I know that's going on longer than what I had hoped to, but it's very difficult to shorten this workspace because there's a lot going on. And I have talked in detail about other places within this workspace and how I handle things. So the people workspace, the tree view, the pedigree chart, and the person workspace, the person view. This is people workspace, tree view, and person view. So that's a high-level overview of the people workspace. If you have any questions, leave a comment on my blog or in the Google Plus community. Thank you, and have a great day.